Please give it up for the great Javier Gomez. Thank you. What a treat, Javier. Thank you so much. I know you just, you fly in yesterday, day before?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. A couple of days ago, arrived in the morning and still a bit jet lagged and tired.
First time San Diego?
Yeah, first time.
You'll be racing next week?
Yeah, next Sunday, Saturday.
Saturday against your good buddy Alistair Brownlee.
Yeah, again, I was almost missing him.
Yeah. Not that much.
Not that much. It's always, yeah, I mean, we always like to race the best ones, and definitely both Alistair and Jonathan are probably the best two triathletes in the world, and it's really challenging for everyone else.
Right. So take us back, growing up. You were born in Switzerland, grew up in Spain, and what were your sports growing up?
Well, I started like almost every kid in Spain playing football, playing soccer, what you guys call soccer.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I like more like individual sports. I wanted to try some different things, so I just joined the swim club of my hometown.
Right.
And there's where I met my first coach, who eventually told me about doing triathlon and show me really how to train. And yeah, it was good times when I was 12, 11, 13, yeah, learning a lot.
When was your first triathlon?
It was back in 1998, local race. I didn't know much about triathlon, but yeah, my former coach and some teammates told me, yeah, you like running, you like cycling, why don't you just show up and race? And I said, all right, let's go.
How'd you do?
Good. I was first one in my my age group. There were not many kids my age.
Yeah.
But it was Olympic distance, and I was only 15, and it was pretty tough.
So that was 98, and you win. And then in December of 99, you're diagnosed with a heart issue. And all of a sudden, you could race in Spain, but you weren't allowed to race like in international events.
Yeah, there was like a heart issue. Was supposed to be a heart issue, so the doctors said that maybe it wasn't good for my health to do a sport on high level. So so they told me to stop. But then we checked with other doctors, and we went to even out of Spain. We've been in London, in different places with some of the best cardiologists in the world, and they all thought that it was completely safe to do this sport for me.
Right.
So we basically fought for this right, against the federation, and it took a while because the situation was very locked, and yeah, it took some years of hard fight.
Years. Yeah. We're talking until 2003. You weren't allowed to race international from 1999 to 2003.
Yeah, that's true. I kept on training. I was racing in Spain because the licenses there are given by regional federations, and I had the support from them. So yeah, I was beating almost. I was winning every race. The people like the juniors at that time when I was a junior, and then the ones who got second, third on the national races were the ones who eventually go to the world championships and internationals. And I stayed at home. Yeah, it was a pretty tough experience.
I was going to say, and did your family? You brought in doctors from all over the place, and they just wouldn't take their word for it.
I always had a great support from my family. Once we really knew the situation was fine. There was no problem with my health. They always support me. It was a big support. And sometimes I think about it now, and it was like crazy how could I get myself motivated for training every day. And
right.
I think I just liked it. I had fun going with some teammates, go out and train. I just enjoyed it. I didn't think much about if I would eventually race international or not. I was enjoying just doing local races and trying to get better day by day.
Do you feel like having to go through that and not being able to race international, did that fuel you and drive you to have the success you've had now? In the long run, you wouldn't want to go through it again, but it might have been a positive in terms of your drive.
Probably, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was something actually good. I want to say it that way, and it helped me a lot to, the first time I was in an international race again, it was in New Zealand, the Under-23 World Championship. Just being there at the start line, I was so happy, and I really enjoyed the race. So I think after all those tough times, I kind of appreciate just to be racing again. it helped me for sure to get success later.
So under 23 World Championships 2003, that was your first international race back.
Yeah.
And how'd you do?
Yeah, I won.
You win the World Championship.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because that race was very late in the year, was in December.
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was going there, so I kind of finished my season in September with the national championships, which I won. And so I just stopped, you know, had 1 month off. I didn't train. I was resting, thinking already in 2004. And so the situation got unlocked, and they called me. So you're now, you can be part of the national team. And as you won the under-23 national championships, you can race the world. So, but we know you're not training, so you're probably not fit. But do you want to race? And I said, of course I want to race. So I started to train again for only a couple of weeks, and I just went to New Zealand and
won the world.
Yeah.
I love that. So 2004, again, you won the under 23 World Championships. 2004 is an Olympic year in Athens. Did you feel like you had a good shot to make the Spanish team that year?
Yeah, definitely. That race in New Zealand was probably a breakthrough point in my career, and I said, well, I think I can maybe do it well. Next year we have Olympic Games, so I'm gonna try it. And yeah, 2004 started pretty well. I won a couple of international races, like already elite. It was only 21 years old. And I went to European Championships, which was a big race for us, and I got 8th, was the best Spaniard. And then World Championships, my first elite World Championships, and I got 8th as well.
Yeah.
And only beaten by the best triathlete at that time, which was from Spain, Ivan Raña, who was a world champion. And
right.
Yeah. And I didn't make the team somehow.
So you ended up not making the Olympic team?
Yeah, no.
Seems like there's a little bit of politics in Spain.
Yeah, and they decided to do a team to work for Ivan, who was the leader at that time. So they all got to good swimmers and cyclists, very bad runners. And yeah, I stayed at home.
So when I look between 2002 and 2010, 9 seasons, you raced in 57 ITU races, 54 top 10s, 23 gold medals, 12 silver, 4 bronze. I mean, do you ever take time off? It seems like your seasons are long and you're so consistent and seem to stay fairly injury-free. What's the secret?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when I look back now. I don't know how many podiums I have in my career. And
lots.
Yeah, I don't know the percent, but probably more than 85% of podiums, which is, I can't believe it. I had some injuries, like almost every athlete, and some bad ones, especially before the Olympic Games in Beijing. Yeah. That I have an Achilles injury that took me a while to recover. But I've always been very consistent. I was lucky sometimes on races. I never had a bad crash or many problems. And yeah, it was very consistent. So
one of the events that's on your schedule that's big over in Europe, but people here don't know that much about, but is pretty exciting, the Iron Tour. Right, the Iron Tour in France. One year you won all 6 stages. It's a stage triathlon. Tell the folks how that thing works.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting race. It's like, well, it's not like Tour de France in cycling, but it's like, it was 1 week of triathlons, one triathlon every day.
Every day.
Between a sprint distance and the last day was Olympic distance, and pretty good level. I remember some good triathletes racing, like in history. Simon Whitfield was there, Simon Lessing raced there, too, and many others. And I had a chance to do it, and I found it funny, and I just went there. And it came that I was the first one in history to win every stage. Every stage.
Every stage. So one day's a sprint and one's an Olympic, and do they go longer than that, or is it every day swim, bike, run, or does it change up?
No, that year was every day sprint distance, the last one only Olympic distance, and one day was an individual time trial of a shorter distance.
For each event?
Yeah.
Like an individual swim, an individual bike?
No, an individual triathlon, like...
Oh, but on your own, though?
Yeah, just on your own.
Time trial?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah, it was very fun, very interesting. Different way of racing. The recovery is very important, and
I like that a lot. I think that'd be fun to do. We should do one of those here. So 2006, 2007, 2008, you win the ITU World Cup title, an IT World Championship in 2008, 2010. Then you start to see these Brownlee boys. When did the Brownlees show up? And could you tell right away that they were going to be a thorn in your side? That they were going to be tough to deal with?
They show up racing elite, Alistair, because Jonathan is younger, in 2009.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were both junior world champion, under 23 world champions.
Right.
So, yeah, you could see them coming up very strong, really talented. But definitely 2009 was the year of Alistair when suddenly he just won almost everything.
Right. So 2008, Beijing, you're ranked #1 in the world going into the Olympics. Yeah. Was there a lot of pressure from your country? Like, hey, we were expecting Javier Gomez to win a gold medal.
Yeah, it was quite a lot of pressure. I mean, and it's normal. I had won almost every race in 2007 and 2008 before the Games. And then I got injured. It's something that not many people knew at the time. I didn't want to make it public. I just wanted to try to train as the best I could before the Olympics. But obviously, when you have this Achilles issue, it's not the best way to prepare for such a big race.
So it was an Achilles deal that was good. Yeah. Okay. So during that race, August 19, 2008, Simon, I remember watching that, and it was a little group, and Simon Whitfield took off. The 2000 gold medalist took off. And, you know, did you get a stitch at that point too, when he took off?
Yeah, I had stitches since K5 probably. It was not a very fast race. That's what is frustrating for me, because when they beat you and you know that you gave your best, that you had your best race ever, then it's fine. But the year before, I won that World Cup in the same course, running faster than Jan Frodeno for the gold medal 1 year later. Yeah. So I knew it wasn't a fast race. It was hot, but I was hurting. I had stitches, and I wasn't well trained for that one.
The hard part is you end up 4th, but you're 20 seconds out of the gold medal.
Yeah, we were this group of 4 until the last K, and I was dead when they just started sprinting. I just couldn't.
So when you go home to Spain, people were expecting you to win a gold, and 4th is like the worst position, right? Because you're just off the podium. How frustrating was that for you, and what was reaction when you got home?
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, I wanted to get a medal and I didn't, but it was more frustrating probably to read the newspapers and the media in Spain. They don't care much about triathlon for 4 years, but suddenly they ask you for a medal the day because they the Olympic Games, even the smaller sports get big, we have a chance for a medal there, so everyone supports that sport for a few days, but not for the other 4 years. And a lot of people talk a lot of stupid things about it, and anyway, you have to deal with that, as part of the game. And I'm happy kind of because I knew I gave my best at the time.
Right.
And that was my position 4th, the one no one wants, but in the future it helps you as well. You learn out of that.
What was the Olympic experience like? Because that was your first Olympic Games. You go there. Did you do opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, and sort of enjoy the experience?
No, because we raced pretty late in the Olympics, and we were a training camp in South Korea, trying to train in the same conditions, and we just flew to Beijing 4 days before the race. So we basically just enjoyed it after the race. Then we went to the Olympic Village, and you can leave that atmosphere. But I was a bit upset for my race, so I really didn't enjoy it very much.
Now, I was watching video, and I've wondered about this, because most of the folks in here are sort of Ironman guys, right? How many people here have done an Ironman? Yeah, this is an Ironman crowd. So most of us, even though we've been triathletes a long time, we've never done what you do. We've never dove off a pontoon. We've never drafted in the bike and then got off the bike and tried to run, a sub 30-minute 10K. Take us through that race, that type of race, and what the strategy is, because position on the podium or position on the pontoon and everything you have to be thinking about on race day.
Yeah, it's very different. Even though I never raced Ironman, but did some non-drafting races, Special Olympic distance, and from non-drafting Olympic to drafting, it's a lot of difference already. Yeah. And I cannot say which one is harder, because the drafting races are really intense. There are moments really, really intense, and non-drafting is more about your performance for 1 hour 50,
Right.
And things like, reaching the first boy in the top 10 is so important in a drafting race if you want to be in the first group. So it's pretty stressful, the start. You need that you can lose the race or lose all your options in the first 4 minutes of the race. So you have to be very fast, and there are lots of fight, and all these guys race in ITU. You have a couple of them there, especially one of them who's the best swimmer, and Richard, and you need to be really concentrated if you don't want to lose your options. And then the transitions are very important.
Very important.
You need to be very fast, and then if you want to make the first group. And then the bike, lots of things can happen. Some people say that we just, draft, we go in a big group, like waving and very slow.
Kissing babies and autographs along the way. Yeah.
But,
so hard swim.
Sometimes it happens. I don't know. Sometimes the race goes slow and it's a very easy bike, and then we run very fast. But sometimes there are lots of attacks. And if it's a hilly course, the strategy is very important, It's like you're drafting, but if one of your main rivals attack, you have to decide within a few seconds, if you go or not, or if you're going to burn your energy or not. There's a lot of strategy going on. And obviously, if you're not a good cyclist, then you're not going to run fast off the bike.
So I'm watching this video online, and it's the European Championships 2011. And I'm watching this going, I'm surprised I've never seen this before. But you had a guy from England, Harry Wiltshire, whatever the heck his name is. I don't know how many people have seen this video online where it looks like Harry's playing bongos on Javier during the swim. He basically, it was almost like he was a domestique whose job was to put Javier out of the race. And this race is in your hometown with 50,000 spectators, right? And he basically separates Javier from the lead pack in the swim and is consistently hitting you on the head. Could you tell that this wasn't just accidental?
No, definitely was not accidental. I mean, I couldn't believe what was happening at the beginning. When someone come to you and punch you say, okay, well, we are swimming, it sometimes happens. When the race goes that way and he's pushing you this way and losing the draft of the guys, I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And he kept on punching me, and we had to turn around one boy, and he just blocked my way to go around the boy, and he just stopped there, and I couldn't believe it. It was pretty amazing. Maybe he thought no one would see him, but there were 50,000 people watching the race
with video cameras.
And it was a river, and it was cameras, and it was on TV, so. And when eventually, this happens in the last 400 meters of the swim, and in this last 400 meters, I lost about 30 seconds,
right?
Which is a lot.
Which just means you missed the pack.
Yeah, and I burned all my energy fighting against this guy. So when we got out of the water, even running towards transition, it was pretty narrow, and he was looking back the whole time, trying to block me and not allowing me to run fast to get my bike. And then on the bike, there were other athletes saw it. We were working hard, trying to catch up again, the first group, and he was just in the middle, trying to,
slow everything down.
Yeah, slow everything down. It was pretty strange. I mean, I raced him many times before, never happened something like that, so I don't know why he did that. But he got banned for 6 months, and
Yeah, he gets banned for 6 months, and besides, playing the bongos on your head, he also, coming out of the water, he basically stops coming up those stairs and gets in your way.
Yeah. There's much more than, there's a video on the internet, but it happened much more than what you actually can see in the video. Yeah.
So you end up 40th, and so he gets a 6-month ban, but this is the European Championships where there's some good money at stake for you with bonuses, etc.
More than the money or the European Championships was a race in my hometown, and everyone was so excited. There's so many people watching. And then on the run, we eventually made the first group with a really big effort. But then on the run, I had stomach problems, stitches, maybe all the water I swallow, probably.
Wow.
And then I just had a bad day and run slow.